Hello, YouTube. My name is Dana Donnelly, and this year I tried and failed to get a brand to take me to Coachella. Here is my story. Some of you are probably thinking, like, another entitled influencer who thinks they deserve a brand trip. Another entitled influencer begging for a brand trip. And I just want to say, thank you for calling me an influencer. So a little background, I'm Dana Donnelly. I'm a comedian, filmmaker, and on-the-rise influencer based in Los Angeles, California. And it has been a lifelong dream of mine since 20 years into my life to get invited on a Coachella influencer brand trip. In other words, when I was 20, the year was 2016, I found out that these brand trips existed, that this was an option. That if you were a hot, cool girl who posted, dare I say, thirst traps on Instagram, no shade, no tea, no shade, and had a decent amount of followers, corporations would pay you to attend Coachella, the iconic music festival in the desert, on their dime. And they'd put you up in a fancy Palm Springs resort and fit you up. And I was like, damn, sign me up. That being said, at the time, I just wasn't in a space confidence-wise to really put myself out there on social media in a way that would have made me eligible for this kind of experience. So I resigned myself, as many do, to being a hater. For many years, I was someone who would sit every year on the sidelines of Coachella and be like, it's so wasteful. Those jets are so bad for the environment. Meanwhile, secretly thinking, get me on that jet. Meanwhile, secretly thinking, get me on that jet. Fast forward to the top of this year. I'm 30 years old now. I decide, you know what? I'm ready to say that I want to go on a Coachella influencer brand trip. I'm ready to decry in the public square. I'm ready to put out into the universe that I, Dana Donnelly, would love to experience this late stage capitalist excess that is a Coachella influencer brand trip. It's happening anyway. Why can't it happen to me? So I decide on January 3rd of this year that I am going to make a Groom series, a Get Ready With Me series called Groomchella, where I make a Get Ready With Me video every single day until Coachella in order to try to get a Coachella influencer brand trip invite. At first, it seems like maybe it's going well. Also, really quickly, a little context. I'm not like a total nobody on social media. You know, I definitely have niche micro internet celebrity status, if I do say so myself. I know it's something like a nickname, you can't really give it to yourself, but I would say that I have niche micro internet celebrity status. I've been famous on Twitter since 2019. Since late 2024, I've gained a pretty prominent following on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And I think I am relatively known for my comedy videos, but I am not known in the lifestyle influencer space. But like, I'm not starting at zero. You know, I have decent reason to believe that coming across as the type of influencer who would get invited on one of these Coachella influencer brand trips is something I could theoretically fake until I made. Anyway, so yeah, at first, this all seems like it's going pretty well. A lot of these videos are performing like pretty freaking good, like over 10K likes on TikTok on a lot of them. And the audience seems like they're rooting for me. Brands are commenting on my videos being like, we see you, girl. I'm showing up every day. Like, it's day 47 out of 97 of Groomchella, the series where I, Dana Donnelly, make a Get Ready With Me every day to get a brand to invite me on a Coachella influencer brand trip. I am putting in my work. I'm upholding my end of the bargain. And it does seem like maybe I'm successfully establishing myself as a lifestyle influencer, and maybe I'm on the track to get a brand to invite me on a Coachella influencer brand trip. I think that I am. I think it's going well for a while. For the majority duration of the series, I'm like, there's no way this isn't gonna work. Also, because, side note, neither here nor there, actually, yes, here and there, I manifested that Santa was real because on December 1st of 2025, I had 179,000 TikTok followers, and I asked Santa to help me get 1,000 followers a day so I could hit 200K by Christmas, and I did. So not only did I hit 200K on Christmas, I literally proved the existence of Santa Claus. So I was like, if I can prove that Santa's real, something that's widely disputed in Western culture, I could definitely get a brand to invite me on a Coachella influencer brand trip, something that indisputably exists in Western culture and is widely ridiculed. I could definitely get invited on one of those, right? Sweetie. Anyway, the experiment goes on and on. I got a fake offer on, I think, day 30 from this gambling brand, Kalshi. And I had like joked about Kalshi in another one of my videos, just basically being like, you guys can bet on Kalshi whether or not you think Groomchella is going to work. But yeah, Kalshi slid into my DMs and they were like, girl, quit yapping. Let's get you that brand trip. And I'm like, dude, frick yeah. Does Kalshi align with my morals or ethics? Do I think it's good for our country that people can like bet and win on whether or not we're going to go to war with Iran? Do I think it's good that you can bet on like if Donald Trump is gonna say the word pussy in his next State of the Union? I don't know, not really, but you know what? I know that beggars, which I am, I was a beggar. Beggars can't be choosers. That's how the saying goes. And I was begging. So I was like, well, I can't be choosing. So if Kalshi wants to bring me, hey guys, like I would love to go with you. That's what I said. They're not beggars, they're the choosers. And they said, no, they said psych. They sent me a meme that said psych, get a job. So they were pranking me. They weren't really serious about their offer. They were like literally giving me a fake offer. So this brand that I thought I was too good for, they thought they were too good for me. And that's always humbling. But also it wasn't the kind of humbling that I needed, because it felt very like when you're in middle school and the cool guys who are maybe a grade older than you pretend to be homies with you because they think it's funny because you're the weird girl. And it's like, I already had that experience. So I didn't really need Kalshi to do all that, but grateful anyway. Anyway, even after the fake Kalshi offer, I was still optimistic. I was like, look, if a brand is giving me a fake offer, surely there's going to be a brand coming in soon with a real offer, right? Like there's always a fake offer before the real offer. I don't know where I heard that. It sounded right to me. But day 90 rolls around and I, Dana Donnelly, Queen Optimist, I'm starting to have my doubts about Groomchella. Yeah. I get this comment on like day 94 that was like, girl, you're not going. And it became like my husband and I's favorite like go-to saying. We were like, girl, you're not going. And I know that sounds like I was defeatist. And maybe it's because I internalized that comment on day 94 that I didn't go. But it just, again, it became very clear to me on day 90, like if a brand was going to approach me, like they would have approached me, right? But also, okay, even if I had my doubts creeping in day 90, what was I going to do? Not follow through? Also, the optimist in me did think that these brands were punking me. And a bunch of them were going to come through with a last minute invite on day like 96. And honestly, I was overwhelmed thinking like, how am I going to turn down all these brands? Because there's going to be so many brands that come in on day 96 and I'm going to have to pick one and I'm going to have to figure out how to let all those other brands down easy. Luckily, that never happened. Anyway, so yeah, not a single brand invited me to Coachella this year. And I genuinely am surprised. My series attracted a lot of attention. I think I would have looked hot in the clothes of certain fashion brands that hosted trips. I think I would have looked pretty in the makeup of certain cosmetic brands that hosted trips. I think I would have looked drunk on the drinks of many alcohol brands that hosted trips. And I think there were a lot of potentially mutually beneficial collaborations that were missed out on with me, Dana Donnelly, this Coachella season. The losers were the brands, and not me who was home sobbing while I scrolled watching Coachella content. Anyway, all this to say, I really am proud of myself because I put myself out there. And I understand that at times my series may have felt like I was mocking the Influencer Olympics / Super Bowl culture that is Coachella. But truly, that wasn't my intention. My intention was to earnestly beg for a brand trip. And it didn't work. And you might be thinking, wow, this is probably the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you. It doesn't even crack the top 10. There were some wins that happened as a result of Groomchella. 1, free people sent me some really cute outfits. 2, I had my second most viral Instagram photo post ever. Oh, also on day 96, my husband got invited to an unrelated brand trip and he is bringing me as his +1. And I do feel like my brand trip manifesting energy probably subliminally helped him get that, or at least that's what I'm telling myself. Some of you have asked me if I'm planning on continuing Groomchella or doing it next year. And my honest response is I don't know. I don't know what the future holds, you know? But what I do know is that insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. And I am nothing if not insane. So doing Groomchella again and expecting that it will work this time does sound like something I would do. To everyone who followed Groomchella and tagged brands, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. Your support means the world to me. It would have meant more if it had worked, but I'm still really grateful. Thanks for watching this video. Like it, subscribe to my channel. Any popularity that you guys can help me accrue will definitely increase my odds of getting invited by a brand to Coachella next year. Maybe, or I'll become like infamous and notorious, the girl that brands like can't invite, you know what I mean? But yeah, if you want to hear me talk more about this, I talked a lot about it on the most recent episode of my podcast, the Midnight Milkshake podcast that I co-host with my husband. Also, for the record, I do plan on being at Coachella next year, and I do plan on it being on someone else's dime, and I do plan on doing a little door-to-door tour of all the branded mansions that I'm the ones I'm not staying at, and making them feel so sorry they ever missed out on me. And they're gonna be like, who the fuck are you? We're calling security. Anyway, Groomchella forever. Just kidding, not forever. It's done now.